Thank you everyone for joining the call today. Today we're going to be going through a demo of Gemini for Google Workspace, what it is and what it does. We'll be covering what already exists within Gemini, so what you can do today if you were going to purchase the add-on. My name is Paige Heydorn and I am account manager here at 66 Degrees. Co-hosting this call today with me is my technical counterpart, Anthony Jimenez. For those of you that haven't been on a call before with 66 Degrees, we are a premier Google partner with over 40 distinctions. These range from not only Google Workspace, but also to Google Cloud, managed services, data analytics. We're also one of the largest AI and ML practices, DevOps, and much, much more. Today, really focusing in on Google Workspace and Gemini. So a little bit more about our Google Workspace team. All these lovely faces that are with us today, they are on the account management team. So you guys do get unlimited support, a dedicated account manager. We also do have an easy onboarding portal, workshops, and then demos like this. On the agenda, I'm going to be going through a brief history of AI in Google, and then a little bit more about Gemini for Google Workspace. And then from there, I'm going to hand it over to Anthony to do the demo, so the fun part of this call. And then again, we'll go over the Q&A. So like Anthony mentioned, if you guys want to navigate down to that activities icon on the bottom right-hand corner, feel free to start popping in your questions, and then we can cover those at the end. So going into a history of AI. Awesome. So I really like this slide. I think it's really good to just put in at the very beginning. So while AI, I would say, is something that is relatively new to all of us, by using Google Workspace, you have been using AI and machine learning for a really long time. You could see it's something that's even dating back to 2015 and something that is just running in the background of all of our tools. So like noise cancellation, smart compose, spelling and grammar suggestions are using some type of AI or ML in that background. Gemini, I would just say, is just a more advanced feature or an extension to what we're already using. Again, just going to be interacting with that tool in a different way. Awesome. And so Google really is also taking a structurally safe approach to protecting your data. So no persistent local data. You own and control your own customer data, no thick desktop apps, and no on-premise infrastructure. You'll see today throughout this demo that Gemini runs seamlessly in the background and just integrates really well within Google Workspace. Something I like to reiterate, which one of our customer engineers says on his calls too, that you can really just do your work from anywhere securely and safely. So again, same thing is true for Gemini. Again, kind of expanding off of that previous slide about privacy and your data. Again, no ads ever. Your data is your data. You stay in control of your data, and then your apps are always accessible. Gemini does fall under the same terms of service as your Google Workspace suite. So what you know today, you can expect with Gemini. Again, nothing is changing with how you handle your data. Again, your data is your data, and I just can't stress that part enough. Perfect. So hopping into Gemini for Google Workspace, this really is just a new era of AI. Like I mentioned earlier with the timeline, we're just going to be interfacing with the tool a little bit differently. So Gemini for Google Workspace is really a powerful collaboration partner, again, acting as a coach and a source of inspiration, as well as a productivity booster for you. And then this slide really, I think, goes well with the previous slide, helping you write. So whether it's refining existing work or helping you get started, that's where Gemini comes into play. I'd mostly say within Google Docs and Gmail, helping you visualize so you can easily create an image for a presentation and meetings from just a simple prompt. That's by using Google Slides. Helping you organize within Google Sheets. You can analyze and act on your data faster than ever before. And then again, helping you connect within Google Meet, helping you look the best for your video calls. So what can Gemini do for you? Again, brainstorming and ideating. I feel like I can't stress this enough. I utilize Gemini on a daily basis, probably a lot more than I thought I originally would. Really great to just bounce ideas off of, brainstorm. Again, it's like your favorite coworker. Really good to get you started if you don't know where to start. Throw in a quick prompt and then Gemini would just give you a response you're looking for. Saving you time is also a big one. So any type of repetitive task you guys have, it could help cut down on the time to do that daily work. So where something could take you, 20 minutes, can now take you 5. So instead of having to carve out time at the end of your day, you could really just fit it in between your meetings. Again, who doesn't love saving 15, 20 minutes here and there? And then connecting meaningfully again with Google Meet. So I could sit here all day and tell you guys how great Gemini is. Anthony can too, and all of our team on here as well. But I think it's really good to hear from what other customers are saying. So again, productivity, increasing or saving time on doing that repetitive task. Quality of work is also increasing as well. Employee engagement, customer and partner satisfaction, again, happier customers, and then an innovative way of working. Again, reiterating what I said before, you're just going to be interacting with the tool a little bit differently than you previously are used to. And what I really like about Gemini, it really is like a one size or like one tool fits all. While today, Anthony for his demo is going to be taking on somebody with a marketing persona, Gemini really does do wonders for everyone within the organization. You could see here it touches a little bit on customer operations, marketing, sales, product, and engineering. But it could really fit for anyone within your organization. I use it on a daily basis. I know Anthony uses it on a daily basis too. So I really encourage you guys today that if you're not in a marketing role, to really start thinking about the prompts that you would use. How could it save you time on your daily task? And if you do have Gemini, I do encourage you as well. Like, why don't you pull up your Gemini app? You can enter the prompts that Anthony is using as well, see what type of responses you're getting. And again, if it's not fitting what you do on a daily basis, tweak it and see maybe what type of things that you could start doing with it. So how do you access Gemini for Google Workspace? Like I mentioned before too, it interacts pretty seamlessly in the background, as well as within your Google Workspace apps and within your tools. You'll see that in Gmail and Docs, it's going to look like a little pencil icon with a star. Within Sheets and Slide, it's going to look like a grid. You could also go to the gemini.google.com interface, and then as well as working with the side panel, which is like a little star or diamond right by your little profile picture. Throughout this call and throughout this demo, Anthony is going to point out exactly where you could access Gemini. What's really cool is that it's just one click within Google Workspace. So really cool. You're not having to going outside somewhere else. Again, it's just right there for you to use. In my last slide, just so I know, I don't want to bore you guys with slides all day, and you guys probably want to get to the fun part of it. But to get the most out of Gemini, it really comes down to the prompts that you're putting into it. So use natural languages, write as if you're speaking to another person. Express everything in complete thoughts in full sentences. You guys want to be specific. So tell Gemini for Google Workspace what you need it to do. Do you need it to summarize? Do you need it to write? Do you need it to create? Do you want it to write an email for you? Again, you could see it in this slide as well. You want to give it as much direction as possible, but also trying to avoid as much jargon. So try and keep out all that fluff words. Again, you'll see through Anthony's prompting that by putting in a really good prompt, you get the outcome that you want. And again, just making it a conversation. You'll most likely need to try a few different approaches for your prompt if you're not getting the desired outcome that you want. I like to think of it as riding a bike. It might take a couple of tries to find out how the tool is going to work best for you. But once you do so, it will be working in no time. Yeah, I think that's all I have. So again, if you have Gemini already, I suggest pulling it up, start entering prompts, see how it could work best for you. But Anthony, for the fun part of it, I'll hand it over to you. Yeah, show them how it works.
All right, thanks, Paige. Hi, everyone. I'm Anthony Jimenez. I'm a technical account manager here at 66 Degrees. My role, besides being a technical resource, is to make sure our clients are getting the most out of the Google platform by demoing new features that Google releases. Again, we have the chat disabled right now, but if you do have questions, in the bottom right corner, you can click the activities icon. And from there, you'll be able to access the Q&A section of our presentation. Let me share my screen. All right, perfect. Today, I'm going to walk us through how you can use Gemini in your day-to-day functionality. In this demo, I'm going to be acting as a marketing user, and we'll start off in the Gmail application. So from here, you can see I already have a couple emails, but the one we're going to focus on is from Paige. So Paige is asking us a few questions right away. She's saying she needs help creating an online content schedule for 3 months for a smoothie shop. She also needs ideas for blog posts, social media content, and any other relevant online content by Friday. She also wants us to reach out to Kyle to get a list of his customers to engage with. So we have our task set. Let's go ahead and reply to Paige, and we're going to use Gemini to create an email. So at the bottom here, I'm going to click reply, and then you can see automatically this Gemini is going to pop up. It's going to say, help me write. If you didn't see it there, you can click on the pencil icon. It's going to have like an asterisk or a star next to it that's going to say, help me write. If you click on that, it's going to pop back up. And then just from here, I'm just going to type in 3 words. I'm on it. And it's going to create an email for us right quickly right there so we can send to Paige. You can see right here, I can hit insert. And it's going to tell Paige I'm on it. I'll get started creating the content schedule for the smoothie shop and have a list of ideas for blog posts, social media content for you by Friday. And I'm also going to reach out to Kyle. So within a matter of seconds, it created an email. Pretty easy. We'll send that over to Paige. Now what I want to do is I want to create an email and send this over to Kyle. We're going to ask him for a list of our customers. So I'm going to hit compose, make this screen a little bigger so everyone can see. Same thing, you're going to see the help me write feature. If you didn't see it, you can click on the pencil icon again to make it pop up. And then I'm going to paste in a prompt here that I have copied. Write an email to Kyle introducing me as a marketing employee for the smoothie shop and ask him for his customers that we can engage with. Here we go. Here's our email. I can click insert. You also have some other options. If you wanted to refine this, you can click formalize. You can elaborate this if you wanted to. This is a short email, so real easy. I can just hit insert. I can change the my name feature right here to put in my actual name, and then I can send this to Kyle. Smoothie shop Kyle, we're going to send this to. Done. Now I have 2 emails already sent. So remember, our first task was to reply to Paige and then ask Kyle for a list of his customer. It only took a matter of seconds. Just think of how many emails this, or how much this is going to help you in your day-to-day functionality, creating emails and then responding to emails. A question I do get asked a lot from our clients is like, can Gemini help summarize emails? Sometimes you'll get like a long email from someone and you may not want to read the whole thing. And the answer is yes. If you click into some of the emails when you have Gemini enabled, you can see at the very top, they're going to have this summarize this email function for you. So if I click on that right away, it's going to give me this pop out, which is called Gemini side panel. And it's going to include a quick summary right here, but it's even going to include the subject, in your summary of this email. You can also access this by clicking in the top right corner. This is that star that Paige was talking about. You can see if I hover over it, it's going to kind of like activate and give us that blue icon and even say Ask Gemini. And so when I click on that, if I cleared this history, if I didn't hit summarize from the email from the beginning, you can see when I clear this history, I'll have a summarize this email button right here, similar to what I had right here. It's going to do the same thing. It's just going to give you a summary of the email. Okay, so now that we're done with our emails, let's hop over to another application. So this is my favorite part of Gemini. It's called, it's from gemini.google.com. This is Gemini's chat app. And from here, we can be really interactive and create prompts. So I'm going to ask Gemini to help us with our blog post information. I'm going to ask it to give us a schedule for the next 3 months. You can see I'm looking for social media and Instagram captions as well, and asking Gemini to give us a few ideas. And like Paige said, remember what you're putting in, what you're typing into the prompt does matter. The more information, the better. If you don't like what Gemini gave you as a result, you can go up here and you can click the pencil icon also, and then you can just edit this, or you could just paste in another question and it'll keep the history, but you can just scroll down to see the newest results. So let's see. So here's all of our information. Okay, this is great. So we have a ton of information from Gemini. Well, what do we do with it now? This is great to look at, but how do I use this in my day-to-day functions? So at the very bottom, you're going to see that we have a few action buttons down here. And we're going to click on this share and export option. It's going to give us two options: export to Google Docs or create a draft in Gmail. For this example, let's export to Google Docs. And the reason I want to do this is because now I can save this in Google Docs and share with a coworker or whoever I want, and we can collaborate instantly. So you see, once I hit share, it's going to pop up in the bottom left corner, this open docs option. And all of that data that Gemini created from the gemini.google.com page right here is now in our Google Docs. So I can share this with Paige. We can collaborate. She can make changes, real simple, but really quickly to get this information. So now that we're in Google Docs, remember we were showing you the Help Me Write feature in Gmail and the Gmail Gemini side panel. So within Google Docs, there's also those two tools. So I'm going to open up a new Google Doc, and we're going to ask Gemini to help us with a blog post from Google Docs. So I'm going to click the Gemini side panel here. You see it's in the same spot as Gmail. If you hover over it, it almost like activates. Once you click on it, there's going to be some options, some suggestions here, but we're going to paste in a prompt. We're going to ask Gemini to create a blog for us with a title Smoothie Shop. And then while that is populated, I'm also going to open up another new document to show you the Help Me Write feature. So we had the Help Me Write feature in Gmail. We also have it in Google Docs. From this Help Me Write feature, I'm going to paste in a command that's going to ask us for a job description for someone working at a smoothie shop. I just want someone that's got a background working in a smoothie shop. I need a little help in my new business. And here we go. Really quickly, it created a smoothie shop job description. Now I can customize it, post it to LinkedIn, Indeed, whatever I want. And then we'll go back and look at our blog post that was being created. We have an option here that gives out all this information. You can see it's only like a really short description, but if you wanted to read the full thing before you insert it, you can click these three dots right here that says view more. And it's just going to give you all of the information in that small window, but this looks good to me. So if I like this, what I can do is I can now use this insert button right here that looks like a side arrow, and it's going to paste all of that information into our Google document. So I just showed you two quick uses on how you can use Gemini within Google Docs, the Help Me Write feature, and then the Gemini side panel that we use right here to create our blog. The next thing I want to do is I want to hop into Sheets and Slides. I want to show you how else it can, we can use this in different Google applications. Every Google application that I'm going to show you is going to have the side panel available to us, as well as a similar feature like the Help Me Write option. So with our new sheet here, I'm going to click on the top cell to make that my active cell. Let's name this Smoothie Shop Data 2.0. And now I'm going to click on that Gemini side panel. Same thing, same spot. Click on it, it activates it. You can see it's going to ask you, do I want to click create a table? Do I want to teach me how to remove grid lines? But we're going to paste in a prompt that I already have created. And it's asking Gemini to create a list of top smoothies and the cost per smoothie, and also include a column showing the ingredients of these smoothies. I just want a little bit more detail that I can take with me and insert into this Google Sheet. So you see now we have our data, and there are two options. Remember back in Google Docs, we had the up arrow to click this to insert. You also have the option here to hit this blue button, insert. It works the exact same way. Whichever option you choose is fine. It's going to automatically insert it into your Google Sheet. So this is great. We have our information, we have prices, but let's take it a step further. So I'm going to click on this cell because wherever you ask a question in Gemini, if you want to insert it, it's going to paste it into that active cell. So let's ask Gemini to take it a step further. We're going to ask it to give us some information based off of the prices in here, based off the data from this smoothie shop. So we're asking for an average. We want to get an average of all these smoothies prices listed here. And you can see on the right-hand side, it created this formula for us. And now if I click the insert button, it's going to populate it right in here. And anywhere I can click insert, and I can send this wherever I want, and it's going to populate that data for us. So if you want to, send this formula in multiple spots on a document, you can. Okay, so that was great. So now we have our formula that tells us the average cost of everything. But now let's take it even one more step further. we want to get the total cost of all these smoothies together. So I'm going to ask Gemini to create a formula that calculates the total cost of all the smoothies. And you can see here, it's taking a sum of everything. And now I can insert this same thing, just hit the arrow right there. And now right out of the gate, we have our average cost, we have our total cost, and now we can share this documentation with someone else. We can tweak any of this information. We have our formulas up here now. It's automatically creating that for us. So some really good data that we can take with us. There is another feature in Sheets that's called the Help Me Organize. So this is kind of like Sheets Help Me Write option. So let's create a new document, and I'll show you how Sheets can help us using the Help Me Organize. So from here, I'm going to click the Help Me Organize, and you'll see it's a different window from the side panel. The side panel pops up with some suggestions, whereas the Gemini Help Me Organize gives you this blue kind of interface, and it's even going to give you this little bit of a template. Do note that this actual side panel option is in alpha testing right now, so it's not readily available to everybody, but this is in our demo environment, so we do have it in an alpha testing setup right now. So let's see. So we'll go back to our Help Me Organize, and I'm going to paste in another command. I'm going to ask it to create a planning for 3 months of a blog and social media content for the smoothie shop. Just another way to get this information. I know you saw me do this with Google Docs. You also saw me get a blog information for using gemini.google.com, but now I'm going to do it within Sheets. You can see here's all the information, which is a ton of data, and then I can click Insert, and now we have this document created for us, and I can collaborate with other employees if I need to. It's telling us what platform we can use this on. It's even giving us content ideas, target audience, just a ton of data that we can take here and use for our smoothie shop. So now we have our data in our smoothie shop, in our Sheets. Let's go ahead and create a slide based off of this data now. So I'm going to open up a new slide here. Let's create a blank presentation. Okay, perfect. So now we have our Gemini side panel and slides as well. You also have this icon here called Create an Image with Gemini, which I'm going to demo in a few minutes. But we're going to click on Ask Gemini, and I'm going to say, create a new slide from this document. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the @ symbol on my keyboard, and I'm going to be able to look at recent documents that I worked on. Well, which is the one we worked on just now a few minutes ago is the Smoothie Shop Data 2.0. So you can see that right in the list. So we're going to go and select that one. And we're going to ask Gemini to build us a slide based off of that information that we have in there. So we'll give it a few seconds to reply. And remember, it's going to look at the data. It's going to look at the prices. It's going to look at maybe the average cost and total cost. It's even going to give us information. It'll probably give us a few names. And what you ask within Gemini it's always key. You can always get a different response. Here is one right here. It says there's 5 smoothies that we're offering. There's the average cost. It's even given us, the ingredients, but maybe this isn't exactly what we wanted. So let's hit retry. And let's see if we can get a different, set of content for our slide. Maybe we want to get an image in there. Maybe we don't need all this data on the right-hand side. We don't need all the, the ingredients. So we'll give Gemini a second to populate this. And then same thing, it's still reading back from our original question that we asked. We asked it about to create a slide based off of this smoothie shop data. And okay, here we go. So now we have our slide. I can hit insert, and we have an image, we have content, we have a title. Really quick to get this set up. So now we're going to move a little bit further. Remember, I talked about that create an image icon. So this is a good icon right here. This is a good picture, but I want to take it a step further. We're going to delete this image, and we're going to use the create an image function. And let's say I have a smoothie shop in Texas. So I want to create more of a Texas vibe image for my slide right here. So I'm going to ask Gemini to create a green smoothie wearing a cowboy hat. Okay, here we go. We got a couple options here. I like this one. So we'll go ahead and select that. So now we have our Texas version smoothie shop slide. Maybe not everybody likes that. Maybe they don't want a cowboy hat on their smoothie. So I'm going to ask it a little bit more generic. I'm going to say, give me a smoothie shop with smoothies in the background. Same thing, I'll click create, and while that's doing that, I'm going to delete this image. It does say it could take up to 20 seconds to get these images, and that's just because it's giving you a couple of images. It's not bringing back one, it's going to bring back at least 4. So here we go. Here's our smoothie shop picture. That looks really good. It's really clean. But what Gemini also can do for you is give you different styles. So if you look under this button right here, this add a style, there's a couple different options in here. And we're going to select the cyberpunk option and hit create. And we're going to look for a cooler image. We want something that's going to pop, really neon colors. You know, we want something that's really going to stand out in a slideshow after tweaking that style. So here we go. Here's our cyberpunk style smoothie. That's pretty cool. I haven't been to a smoothie shop that looks like that before. So now we have our slideshow created just from, referencing our sheet that we used right here, which only took a matter of seconds to get created. And then our slide was the same way, using that document that we used before. We can even reference a Google if we wanted to take some information from maybe our blog that we created here from the Gemini side panel. We could use that information as well. We just have to tag that document when we're asking Gemini to create it. So just think about all the time you can save using these tools. I mean, we created emails, we created blog posts, we created data in sheets, we created a slide, just in a matter of minutes using Gemini on our day-to-day task. I don't, create a lot of slides. I'm on the technical side of things, so this is going to be a lifesaver for me. I'm not really creative, so using, Gemini to create images and build out presentations for me is going to really help me on my day-to-day tasks. But this is what we wanted to do as a marketing user from that standpoint. So let's kind of like take off our marketing hat now and let's hop back into gemini.google.com, the tool that I said was my favorite. Just for another example, I had my honeymoon last year. I went to Italy and I used Gemini for that. I asked Gemini to give me hotel recommendations, restaurants in Rome, anything like that. It helped really quick with, so I love that. But me and Paige also like this features that you can upload images into this gemini.google.com section, and Gemini is going to translate it. So we have something that Paige wrote out, some like handwritten notes, and I can select those notes and ask Gemini to create a document for me. So I'm just going to hit submit, and you'll see that it's pretty basic. It's just a few ingredients that we're looking for from this image. And I'm asking Gemini to create this in a Google Doc so I can take this and edit it now, instead of, having this handwritten note. What can I do with that? No one can collaborate with me. Now I can actually click on share and export. I can export this to a Google Doc. And then on the bottom left corner, similar to earlier, if I click on open docs, now we have all of our handwritten notes right here in a Google document, and I can open this up and I can say, you know what, Paige is going to want to work on this with me. Let me go ahead and share this out to Paige, and now she can edit this document and collaborate with me really quickly.
Yeah, Anthony, I want to kind of just reiterate that too. I like this feature a lot because when I'm just in like team calls or customer calls, I do a lot of handwritten notes. And usually at the end of the day, that's when I type everything into Google Docs or just into like online. So if anyone else needs to access it, they can view it. So now instead of taking, 30, 40 minutes at the end of the day to type everything out, I could just now take a picture in between calls, upload it into Gemini, and then just export it into Google Docs. So again, being able to streamline those repetitive tasks saves so much time.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely love that feature. I did want to reiterate that the side panel feature is in alpha testing right now, so it may not be available to everyone, but we just wanted to show you what some of the cool features of Gemini that are coming out down the road. So back in gemini.google.com, another option you can do is you can upload a table. So let's say you drew out like a handwritten table within your notes, similar to creating a document based off your handwritten notes. We can say, okay, here's a table, create a table based off of this image for me. And so Paige wrote this down for us. We have sizes of smoothies, we have the prices, we even have some flavors. And you can see that when I ask Gemini to create a table, it's going to give me this option to export to sheets. It's not going to be in the share and export option. It's going to actually be in the response from Gemini. So if I click export to sheets, it's going to give me a pop-up in the bottom left corner. And then now I can click open sheets. Same thing. Now I can share this document out to another coworker. We can collaborate on this, edit the data, just to take it, a step further. Another cool feature here, if maybe you're working on a website or you're a developer, it can help with like translating code, but we're going to ask it to create code for us based off of an image. Similar to our other images, I had Paige kind of like draw like a makeshift website for me. You can see it's really simple. We just have menu, tools, help, and contact. But I'm asking Gemini to create code for me. And then here's the basic code. It's just creating some HTML for us right here. It's giving us some key points to look at. But the cool thing about this, if you are a developer, if you are working on something like this, now when we go back to our share and export option, you're going to see a third option down here. So we originally had the docs in Gmail only. Now we have this export option, which is like a developer tool. It's going to take us to another application, but you'll see it's going to take the actual code from Gemini, this section here, all this data, and it's going to populate that into some coding software. And now we can edit this and we can change the names of this. Maybe I don't want it to say tools. Maybe I don't want it to say help. Maybe I can say contact, and then I can run this and it's going to change the information. So you can really just start being creative with Gemini, helping you create websites and things like that. And then there are two more features I kind of wanted to talk about. So one is back in Google Docs, we had Gemini create this history of World War II for us. And it spit out, a good bit of information. And then we used the share and export feature and we created a Google Doc with it. And, it's a lot of information. So if I just double click this document and open it up, and then if I click on the side panel, automatically it's going to start summarizing this document for me. I didn't have to ask it to do anything. It's just going to automatically start doing that. And you'll see here, it's going to give us just kind of a brief summary of what this is. So, there's a good bit of data in here, but if I just wanted a little bit of a summary, it's going to give us that information right here in the side panel. And then I can take that and paste it somewhere else. I can insert this if I wanted to, but it's still good to see it on the side, just as a quick summary. And then the last feature I wanted to talk about before handing this over to Paige was in Google Meet. So in Google Meet, there are a couple features that are pretty cool. One of them, I'm going to start an instant meeting. We don't need to see my face twice, so I'm going to turn my camera off. The first one that we all love is called Take Notes for Me. So in the top right corner, you can see, let me zoom in a little more. You can see there's this little pencil icon. If I hover over, it says Take Notes with Gemini. If I hit start taking notes while we're talking, and if there's 10 people on the call and we're sharing documents, and okay, there's a follow-up with Dan, and then Kelly needs to do XYZ, it's going to take notes for us, and then it'll create that within the organizer's My Drive, and then you can share that out. So you don't have to take notes during the meeting. It's going to do it automatically for you. I know there's some other tools out there people have probably heard of that they're using in their meetings, and this is going to do that similar function for you. And then the last one would be with the appearance. So Gemini now is using AI, or Google is now using AI to enhance your appearance. So if I turn my video back on, you can see there's studio lighting. I can change the brightness. I can even change the style. There's just a lot you can do in here. There's even filters that you can select. Of course, people have probably seen some of these funny ones, but there's just a lot more you can do in here within Gemini. You can even use Gemini to create a background similar to how we were doing it with create an image in the slides option here. You can ask it to create a background, and you type in a few keywords, like maybe you want like a speakeasy, and it's going to give you like a that kind of like wooden leather couch vibe speakeasy, kind of dark lit room. So just another cool feature that Gemini has available out there. I think that's all I have today, Paige. I will pass it back to you unless there's something else I forgot to cover.
No, thank you. I mean, watching you do this just makes me excited just to be talking about this. Yeah, I mean, we didn't touch on everything Gemini could do for you. There is definitely a lot more. I think it's really cool. Google still, I would say pretty new to everything. So it's only going to get better from here on out. So I've been seeing a couple questions in the Q&A section. So let's hop into those.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at a couple of them.
Yeah, so Gemini is an add-on to Google Workspace. Prices range depending what you're looking for. So I highly recommend reaching out to your account manager. If you don't know who your account manager is, you could just reach out to accountmanagement@66degrees.com, and then we could get you connected with the correct person. I will just share that on our next slide. But yeah, let's hop into some questions, Anthony.
Yeah, it looks like there's one in there about getting a lot of emails, and can Gemini help summarize your whole inbox? This still is a very new tool, even for us. A lot of these features just came out this week for the side panel, so we're even learning as this process goes. But it does seem like there is going to be some summarization tools, and you can even get specific and ask it to show certain details of emails, show topics, or show emails that match a certain topic. So I think that it would be an option for you going forward to help summarize your inbox, especially if you're getting a lot of similar emails. Maybe you can compare quotes, things like that. Let's see. Yep, so, Steve, that we have a question from Steve asking if you write an email, can you have Gemini rewrite the email? Yes, you definitely can. You can highlight the email and ask it to formalize it. Similar to how when I was using the Help Me Write feature, that's how you would do that. You can even do that in Google Docs. If you were in Google Docs, when I was showing the job description, if I selected the job description, Gemini is going to have some options in there that you can hit elaborate, formalize. So it does have some features for you that you can help rewrite your emails. Let's keep going. Okay, yeah, John, I see your question about the side panel. Yeah, that's just because it's out in alpha testing right now. Hopefully that comes out a lot sooner for everybody. There is another one I forgot to cover also. Gemini does have the live translation. So if you're on a call and someone's speaking, it will translate those captions automatically. So if someone's speaking a different language, you can automatically get those captions for you. The real-time translation, that's a really cool feature. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Dan. Yeah. So if you wanted to enable that, you would just go into your admin console, and then you can go under account settings, Gemini for Google Workspace, and there's going to be a turn on alpha features. I believe you can even select it by organization unit. So if you obviously didn't want to turn it on for everyone, if there was just a list of maybe people in IT that are testing it or something like that, you can turn it on for a specific OU. That's kind of how we're doing it in our demo environment now. Let's see, we'll go back to some of the questions. Reference where the alpha features are. Can I further prompt Gemini to adjust the email or I created? For example, place your name. Yep, Mike, yes, you can. Yeah, you can ask it to give you a different response, similar to how when we were in slides, you hit retry. You can get a different response, and then you also have that elaborate option. Sometimes if you get too short of a reply back from Gemini when you're creating emails, you may have to put more information in there. It looks like Dan's going to show us a little bit here. Yep, exactly. Thank you, Dan. Let's see the last offer I saw. Let's go through a couple of these. When I receive emails, can I leverage Gemini to analyze the header information? I don't know, Shelly. I don't know if it's going to be able to help with spamming information directly within your inbox yet. I mean, I'm sure there's something coming out down the road, on the roadmap, so we can definitely keep you guys posted. Looks like we have a couple questions in there. Perfect. Thank you, Dan. Dan replied in the chat. I don't know if everybody can see that. There should already be AI tools baked into Google Workspace security that will help identify malicious emails. For example, if a suspicious email lands in your inbox, there will be a yellow and red banner. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that already. If you get a message at the top of your Gmail, you can tell that's already being notified from Google. It will help you identify malicious content from senders. Let's see what else. And if we don't answer all the questions today, we do have a list of them, so we'll reach out directly. We'll follow up with you after the call. Let's see. We use collaborate with Gemini. Does Gemini only files requesting you to see? Devin, that's a good question. I believe it works everything that you have access to, and you can even ask within Drive. We didn't demo the Gemini option within Drive. I can pull that up really quick. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Dan's on it today. Let's see if I can pop back up here. Thanks for helping out there, Dan. You can see you do have the side panel here as well within Google Drive. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And there's going to be some suggestions there. Even from what I've seen, like on the roadmap, there are a few features that it's kind of like, you'll be able to compare a few things, documents. Like I feel like one I've seen, I think it was like Google Next, that they were talking about, like they had two quotes in Google Drive and they were able to compare the quotes. So you do have some options in here that you can use within Drive. Again, like I said, still very new. We're still learning, as this goes, and more features are going to keep coming out. Every quarter Google's releasing something new and exciting around Gemini. So we can definitely, do another one of these once more features come out. If this was helpful to everybody, we can, maybe do these every other quarter or something like that, and just to kind of keep everyone in the loop. But yeah, a lot of cool features coming out.
There's a couple more too. Shelly, I know you
Okay.
said which code editor works best with Gemini. This would be
Yeah.
Cloud Workstations. It's native to Google. I don't know if there is a Gemini. Oh, you're already on it too, Dan. Wow, too quick for us. But yeah, I think if there's also any features that you guys want to see more in depth, have questions about pricing, definitely reach out to your account manager. We're more than happy to also do a specific demo for your organization. If you want to just bring in the sales team, or if you want to bring in marketing, HR, we could also do that as well and just kind of tailor it a little bit more to you. Anthony, is there anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. I mean, I appreciate everybody, hopping on and taking a look at what Gemini can do for you. Like I said, this is being recorded, and if we didn't answer your question, we will definitely follow up. I know we have a good bit of them in there, I think, that we missed, so we can follow up. But yeah, this is going to be recorded. We're going to send this out to everyone that attended, and we appreciate your time today.
Awesome. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you, guys.